Recording in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Lucky and Ducky podcast.
Where the worst part about cleaning is cleaning.
And
However,
then the best part is it being clean, though.
yeah. Um, yeah, that was more dumb than I expected it to be. Okay, so
It
today's
sounded perfect yesterday.
I agree. Today's podcast, hold on if I can find my notes. We are talking about things you should carry in your car at any given moment. Obviously, this is going to be more for people who drive than don't. Um,
I don't have notes, so I'm just going to be like a chicken and wing it.
I don't have many notes, so we'll have to work with what I got though.
But
All right.
technically, I'm like a ducky and wing it, not like a chicken.
So basically a couple of podcasts ago we did EDC carry, things that you should just carry on your person every day. So basically this is the car version of that episode. Go and watch that episode too. It's also good. Um
They kind of build on each other.
yeah,
Having a base level is also very important.
yeah. Um all right, so we can get right into it. The first thing I've kind of broken them up into categories. So things for your car, okay? So jumper cables. Jumper cables are always nice to have, for obvious reasons. Um, like if your car quits working or if someone else's car quits working and they don't have jumper cables. Um, an air
We're going
pump.
to that in a future episode, the type of car maintenance you should know. And some people are gonna be like, well, I just take it to the shop, or I've got not AARP. What's the other one? AAA.
Yeah,
Not AARP. Wow. Um, but like I've got AAA, they'll take care of it, but you might need to know it for somebody else.
yeah.
Knowledge is not only for your own use, neither is wisdom. So that's just a rabbit trail right there.
All
Still
right.
important.
Then
All
I
right.
have a donut kit. So like spare tire.
That's their tired donut. The
There.
names are interchangeable. Don't just carry around a box of a dozen donuts.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not what I was talking about.
No, I so that includes spare tire, jack stand maybe, um the the appropriate tool to take off lug
Tire
nut.
iron, tire iron
Yeah,
is what that
yeah,
calls.
yeah. Um and then I have air pump for tires. If your tire's running low, whether it has a hole, a leak, or just it's running low, have an air pump, any kind really. Um
I wouldn't say even air pump, but just like an air pressure gauge so you know if it is
yeah,
low or
yeah,
it's already flat.
yeah.
And I think our cars usually have two. One
Um
is in the door and then one that's in the with the tools in the back.
yeah. Then next thing on the list, I have a pocket knife. I have a specific pocket knife that stays in my car, just in case you forget one or you need one. They're nice to have. They're good tools.
Never know when you're going to need to cut rope or something like that. And it's kind of like a seatbelt cutter if you think about it. Like if you it's handy and you know where it is, it's helpful. If you don't know where it is and it's like, oh yeah, it's somewhere in the console or somewhere like that, maybe in the back. If you don't know where it is, it's not going to be helpful having it in the car.
Yeah.
So
All right. This is a big one. A lot of people overlook this one, but in my opinion, it's a must have. Um, Trash bags and a bin. Okay, your car will get real junky if you're just throwing it in the base of your passenger seat, and then when you have passengers, they don't want to be stepping in all your trash. Have a trash can. It's sanitary and it is cleanliness. And don't
Not
get those scented ones because they'll stink up your car.
I, I wouldn't say even have a trash bag where it's set up, but
Yeah,
have
just have
trash
them.
bags for other things too. I mean, it's an emergency poncho if you need it. It's what else? It's all kinds of stuff.
I mean, a tarp.
It's an umbrella.
Yeah, I mean, it could
A
be all sorts.
what?
It could be all sorts of things. But um, I mean, be resourceful with what you have. Um,
Don't need like a million different things if something works for multiple.
and then um I have paper towels, and then a subcategory of paper towels. I have plastic silverware. Um, so we'll talk about paper towels first. Obviously, you can use towels as plates. You can use paper towels to clean up messes. You can use paper towels to wipe things down, clean up your
While you're
hands.
checking your oil,
Yeah, yeah, checking oil. I mean, there's all sorts of things that you can use um paper towels for. So um and then subcategory that plastic silverware. That kind of goes with the plates and the wiping your hands side of things. But there are often times that you would like silverware and you don't want to have to carry around silverware that can be they have to wash. Um Now I mean I do carry
a
a set
good
of
deal because I carry actually I think I've got two different sporks um that are not plastic though. Well, actually technically one is plastic, but it's not throwaway, disposable. It's like a K-bar one. You pull it out and it's got a little plastic knife that you can actually cut up your food with. So it works as fork, spoon, and knife silverware all in one. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wash that, right? After it's dirty, wipe it off somehow. Use your paper towels to wipe it off, maybe. Um, but I'm done and throw it in the trash. Or I could, but I really don't want to.
and then the next thing on the list I have water for your car and yourself. Cars, the way engines work, at least gas engines, is it is actual explosions in your engine. Cars need to be cool, otherwise they overheat and bad things happen. Um, you need to check your water in your car, and um, there have been multiple times where your water will run low and then it will burn up your engine, literally. Um,
I'm I'm gonna revise that because it is not water specifically, it's coolant. But
but yes,
in the winter, you do not want to put straight water in your coolant.
no,
I'm kind of foreshadowing in the next episode, but um, you do not want to put water in there because it will freeze, and when stuff freezes, it expands. Water freezes, expands in a confined space. Your radiator's busted, um, and then it's going to leak. So water does work in the summer for temporary types of things. Um, if it's straight water, then you could. Like in the summer here, it's usually 90 degrees all the time. So your water is not going to be freezing.
that's true. And that is true. The But then for yourself, I mean, obviously, if you have had a jug of water in your car that has been there for 3 years, you might want to think about getting some new water. Uh, so that water could be a water bottle that you bring with you, that you fill up like a cup of whatever. It doesn't have to stay in your car, but you should have it with you really at
Always
all
have
times.
your canteen.
I don't know if
Always
we
have your
talked about.
can.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Always have your. Always have your canteen with you.
Yeah, yeah, always have your canteen with you.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story with that real quick, just because it's funny. We used to drive cross country several times, and norm one time we were listening to a Luther audio grand desert. That guy's force, he's walking through the desert. no canteen, no horse, and he's just walking across the desert. And right as we get to the beginning of that part of the book, start getting, oh look, we know exactly what he's talking about. And what
What just
is,
happened?
I have no idea. Somehow I'm telling a story, you get kicked off.
I thought
It,
you got kicked off.
it just said recording stop.
Is it gone again? You still there? Hello? I heard something. Sounded like one of them proboscis monkeys.
Anyway, I'm gonna kill my. We're crossing the desert listening to book.
Again? Can you hear me? Yes, I agree. If you can hear me, I'll type it as well. Oh,
Yes,
yes,
I
you okay, I can hear you kinda.
or I can hear you apparently as I wrote. Is the recording actually working now?
It says recording is in progress. I don't it's stopped recording like 7 times, so I don't know how this video is gonna work out. We might have to just restart. I'll see about figuring it out.
All right, I'm gonna end that last story. We're crossing the desert, listening to a book about a guy crossing the desert with no water. Of course, I drank the last of my water before we hit the desert. My brother and parents were, all right, like you're crossing the desert without water.
Okay. I'm
We
gonna say let's just
have a
keep
running
going.
joke. Car stuff, water, radiators, don't load up.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Um,
what was next?
so this is a kind of need to know. So this kind of goes with the next video that we're going to do. Um,
It's a
this is
foreshadowing.
about I said things for car, okay? And listed like oil, coolant, um, um, any other kind of fluids. Like
I'm gonna
if
say
you
you need them,
know,
but you don't necessarily need them all
yeah, if you know that your
unless you have
car,
a problem. Unless you have a problem with your oil. Does that make sense?
I don't know. I think you
Why
need to
did it
quit
keep
talking every time you start
every
talking.
time I gum.
Um,
Man, this
okay,
technology.
I'll say I got what you were saying. Um,
Okay.
the if your car is messing up and you know that your car is leaking oil, obviously carry oil. But if your car is not, just continue doing regular checks. Making sure that your car isn't leaking oil, making sure that you don't have coolant leaks, making sure you don't have all these things. Um, and maintain your maintenance on your car. Um, so that you know if there's a problem, you can carry something in your car until you can get it fixed. Um, all right, then I have machete. Okay, basically, it's a big pocket knife. Um, so you can use it for all sorts of things. Um, clearing brush.
Especially if you're the type of person who takes a truck and goes hunting in the woods a lot, or
Yeah.
a lot of people will carry one in their truck because it's a lot more versatile than a hatchet or something. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're out in a machete's very cool. Maybe you're on your
All
so
right, you're starting to mess up, so quit talking because I wanted to
all
kick us
right,
off
that's
again.
it.
Um,
All
Now the next thing is straps, ratchet straps, rope, any of that. Even for a normal car, it can be helpful to have um ratchet straps and things for a various amount of reasons. Um, you can use them accordingly. Um, and then a basic first aid kit. And I hope that Declan gets to talk about this a little. Um, the a basic first
I
aid
was
kit.
really hoping to say first aid in there and a
What?
little bit of medical. I'm glad you made sure to write that down.
Yeah. Um. So I mean, I would even go as far to say a basic tourniquet. Obviously, maybe some band-aids, definitely gauze, maybe even like a gunshot trauma kit. Not because of an actual gunshot, but a puncture wound if you get in a
Blood,
really bad
blood
car wreck.
clot.
Yeah, blood
It's called
clot.
blood clot packets that help clot the blood so that I don't want to get too graphic or anything, but if you have a bad injury and are leaking your
Bodily fluids.
you need to keep that inside of you and you don't want it leaking out. Ambulance can't get to the car wreck or something very you have a medical kit that you can find quickly, but also knowing how to properly use those things. If you don't know how to use a tourniquet, that's not as helpful. Maybe somebody else there does at the site of the wreck or accident, but the
Um,
equipment you're carrying, like
yeah,
basic
and
car has information.
that goes with what he's saying with knowing how to use your equipment. If you don't know how to change a tire, you need to learn. um, I
Talk
mean,
about that.
what'd you say?
We'll talk about that next time, though.
Yes. Um, all right. Then I have a basic wrench and ratchet set. Okay.
This
It's
is not ratchet strap, like you said before. Ratchet strap are tie down.
yeah,
Ratchet, as in socket and ratchet to undo bolts and nuts.
yeah. Um, cars are put together with notes, bolts and nuts. And having a basic set of that can help with basic car maintenance on the go, and it can be very helpful.
Not just that, there's so many times that I've needed tools and I didn't carry a toolkit, but I was working on some project and I just pulled the toolkit out of the car.
Yeah.
So it's
Um.
sometimes you're working on something you don't need. You're like, oh, I forgot to bring that. Go
So
work
I
on it. That
I have
or how
pens and paper. And pens, I say pens as in I think you should have pens, you should have pencils, you should have Sharpies. Um, in your car,
all of them have different. So
yeah. Um, your car is basically a giant go bag. Um, and then I specifically singled out wrench and ratchet sets. Um, but I think that you should have a basic array. What am I talking about? Array,
array, not that, not the little French hat. That's a beret. You're thinking array.
array of tools.
Array as in
Um,
assortment.
um, of tools. So pliers, needle nose, all maybe even a pair of wire cutters.
Yes. You
Um,
definitely need pliers to adjust any fittings inside the engine if you need to fix it.
yeah. Um,
Screwdrivers.
screwdrivers for sure. I mean, all sorts of tools. We can talk about more of that next week. Um, but how much time do we have? Doesn't say. Um, because
Yeah,
that's about the end of my list, and I don't know if this is gonna mess up.
we kind of went through that really fast. I'm gonna try not to talk too much because we don't want it to mess up more. Because apparently he doesn't like me. Uh, Technology in general doesn't like me. All right, so we covered you should have tools for your car in case of I'm not. I guess in
Hold on, you're messing
situation.
up again. You're messing up. I'll talk. I understand what you're saying. You should have tools for your car and for situations outside of your car, maybe not car maintenance, but just general tools to have um as you need them.
Also, I do want to point out that an emergency is rarely an emergency if you know how to prepared for it. A flat tire is no longer an emergency if you know how to change a flat tire and you have the tools and parts and everything for it. You can change a tire in 10, 15 minutes, give or
Yeah,
take.
yeah,
Maybe not that fast if it's your first time though.
yeah. Well, yeah, and in the rain.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah.
um,
And
First aid, tie downs, um, basic personal needs, so like food, water. Um,
yes, I forgot to mention that. In your like bag you take with you, backpack to go to any or just in your car, carry like a couple protein bars or beef jerky, sort of food in there and get stuck. That
if
way,
you're
a
in,
little bit of food. I mean, it doesn't need to last you 72 hours or anything. Or even 2 days, but as long as it's something that gets you from breakfast to dinner, you're fine. Or
well, and
for a little,
here's one that I hadn't really thought of because it's kind of a duh. But keep gas in your car. You should never be running out of gas. It's terrible for the engine. Um, just keep
not just that. I want you to go ahead. I'm not going to talk about this, but keep it for the engine, but also for the point that I was just making, tie that in with the keeping gas. Does that make
putting
sense?
no.
No. Um, but sometimes you just need to go and you you're not going to have time to fill up. So don't go below half a tank.
Oh yeah.
You can talk about that.
Yeah, okay, okay. So yeah, I mean I
Not
at
an
half
emergency if you're prepared for it.
yeah, I'd half a tank. I'm like my tank's empty. Um and I mean that could just be me. I know some people take it to where it's like got 4 miles left and they're like, oh, we're fine. You're not fine. You need to fill up your car. Um because of what Declan was saying or Ducky was saying, you need to be ready, be prepared for any circumstances. Um,
This doesn't mean you need to be ready for the zombie apocalypse. That's not what we're
no,
saying. We're saying
no,
car wrecks happen, flat tires happen. If you haven't got one yet, you will.
yeah.
Um, like not necessarily that you'll be in a car wreck, but flat tires happen all the time, all over the place. Doesn't matter.
The other day I was driving home and I saw three people on the side of the road changing their tire, like three separate cars. I was like, that's insane. But it happens. And you can say, oh, it doesn't happen to me. I've never had it happen. That only happens to other people. It will. And if it doesn't, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. But we don't let mistakes happen, accidents happen, things happen.
They call it an accident because you don't plan to get in a car wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who would plan? I mean, maybe a psycho, but who would plan to get in a car wreck? Like, oh yeah, today, I think I'm gonna get in a car wreck. That no. Be smart, be prepared, be safe.
Like they say for the DOT and road people, um, drive safe, arrive alive, or drive alert, arrive alive. Sorry, I said that wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have to take them. I don't think. Maybe I did. Um,
Well, no, that's just on all kinds of driver safety and science
oh,
billboards too
okay.
around here.
Um, but no, I mean it's definitely true. It's definitely true, and especially where I am right now in the living state. Um, you
I'm
have to
also going to
pay
say
attention.
we've already been talking about car wrecks and things, have some like emergency contacts in your phone or written on a card in your wallet so that
Yeah.
people can pull it up and be like, oh, emergency contacts, these people.
Yeah.
If you're unconscious, tell people. Like, there's some people with their phone home screen has emergency contacts listed on it. So in case it's locked and they can't get into your phone, they can still call people and be like, hey, you need to
All right.
know
There's the
so and
10
so
minute.
just got crashed. Um, but like also label contacts in your phone as how they're related to you, whether
Yeah.
that's wife, mom, dad, grandma, bro. Be like, okay, Jane Doe, sister, under emergency contact, or your mom, or say mom, emergency contact, because people looking at your phone trying to find out like who you are to contact people that you've been hurt, then they don't know who any of the names in your phone are most likely. Um, and
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that for me. Doctors, nurses, people in the ER and hospital say to do that. People don't listen that often, but it's something you need to do. Because even in the hospital, if they need permission to do some sort of procedure to keep you alive and healthy, but you're unconscious and can't respond, then I mean, they need permission by someone who's either an emergency contact or has some legal ability to say, okay, yes, you can do that. But the doctors don't know who any of the people in your phone are. So that's just a random thing that just do it. There's so many things that, like with car maintenance and that stuff, just learn the things, just carry it with you. Like most cars are
And
made to carry a spare tire. So carry one.
and we say just do it. Just do it. Like it's super easy. I will say some of this stuff it's hard to learn. It takes a lot of time. But it will help you
Have it? Yeah.
so much in the long run. Um, I mean, even okay, fine. It doesn't happen to you. I've never gotten in a car wreck, fine. But it it can happen to someone that a stranger you see on the road, and if they don't know how to fix a tire, you do. You can pull over and you can help them. I've done that before.
I'm done. Yeah. Not to say we're good Samaritans or anything, but the way we grew up was if somebody needs help, you should stop and check. Or there's been times where I couldn't stop. I had to be somewhere, or it wasn't a good place for me to pull up, stop and help. But you can still report unended vehicle, or hey, there's someone on the side of the road here. Could you send an officer or someone to go and check on them?
yeah,
See, like you can call that way. Also, maybe the police officer, the person knows how to change their tires, they're working on it. But if the police officer can just pull a car in behind with flashlights, people will move over. So it just makes the situation a little bit safer for someone on the side of the road. We'll
yeah.
talk a little bit about that kind of stuff on this episode. I
Alrighty.
think we should go
Well,
ahead and wrap it up.
I do too. Alrighty. Well, this is Lucky and Ducky signing off. How do you end this thing? Hold on. Give me a second.
How do we?
There we
I
go.
don't know how to sign off. We sign off on this thing.
I have no
Normally
idea.
ends happy.
Alrighty. Goodbye.